welcome back. Today we're diving into red light therapy.
Yeah, red light therapy as a business, which is really exciting, I think, right now.
Absolutely. It's definitely a hot topic. People are really interested in it.
Mm.
And we're seeing more and more businesses pop up. So it feels like the right time to kind of dig into this.
Yeah.
What we want to do is figure out, is this hype or is this like the real deal? And luckily, we found this awesome guide, How to Start a Red Light Therapy Business.
By Small Business Kings.
Exactly. And they seem to have thought of everything. I mean, we're talking legal stuff, marketing, the whole 9 yards.
It's comprehensive.
Yeah, really comprehensive. So we went through it all, pulled out the juiciest bits.
The need to knows.
Exactly. The need to knows for anyone who's even thinking about jumping into this world. So let's start with the basics, right? What is it that's making red light therapy so popular right now?
Well, I think a big part of it is that people are like really prioritizing wellness these days.
Yeah.
It's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good too. And red light therapy really seems to tick both of those boxes.
It does. I've been seeing a lot about it, especially for skin health.
Absolutely. Skin health is huge. And the science, seems to be backing it up, which is really interesting. But it's not just about wrinkles and fine lines, although that's definitely a big part of the appeal. It goes deeper than that.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, people using it for pain relief, for example, like muscle soreness, joint pain, even inflammation.
Really? I didn't realize it had so many applications.
It's pretty amazing, actually. And then there's the whole athletic recovery side of things. Athletes are using it to recover faster from workouts, prevent injuries, all that good stuff.
So it's like everyone's a potential customer.
Pretty much. It's a pretty wide market, which is good news for anyone looking to start a business in this space.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so we've got this wellness craze happening. People are looking for natural solutions. Red light therapy seems to be kind of checking those boxes. But let's talk numbers. How big is this market really?
Well, according to the guide, and they cited a report from Global Market Insights, the red light therapy market is projected to reach $1.5 billion by 2032.
Whoa, okay. That's a lot of zeros.
It is, and that's with a growth rate of like 6.3% annually. So yeah, it's definitely a market with some serious potential.
Okay, so it's not just a fad. This seems like it's here to stay.
It really does.
But what's driving that growth? Is it just increased awareness? Or is there more to it?
Awareness is definitely a big factor. People are more informed about their health than ever before, and they're actively seeking out information about red light therapy.
They're doing their research.
Exactly. And they're liking what they're finding. But it's not just about awareness. The technology itself is evolving at an incredible pace.
Well, that's interesting. So we're seeing better devices?
Yes. More powerful, more user-friendly, more effective. And that's opening up some really exciting avenues for entrepreneurs.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. What kind of avenues are we talking about here?
Well, you've got your traditional in-clinic treatments, of course. But we're also seeing a surge in the popularity of at-home devices.
Makes sense. People want options.
Exactly. And that gives you, as a business owner, more flexibility in how you want to approach this market.
So I could have a physical location where I'm offering treatments, but I could also sell at-home devices.
Exactly. You could even do both. Imagine like a thriving brick-and-mortar clinic, and then you've got this whole other online business selling these devices. Double the impact.
I like the way you think. Okay, so we've got a booming market, multiple ways to tap into it. This is all sounding very promising, but before we get too excited, we have to address the elephant in the room, right? The legal stuff.
Right. Yeah, it's not the most glamorous part, but it's definitely essential. You can't just set up shop and start blasting people with red light.
Definitely not. So what do we absolutely need to know about permits and licenses before we even think about opening our doors?
Well, the guide breaks it down into 5 main areas. First up, you've got your general business license. Pretty standard stuff. You need this to operate legally anywhere.
Right, so that one's a given. What about anything specific to red light therapy?
Yes, so that would be the second one, professional licenses. This is more for if you're a healthcare professional yourself or if you plan on having healthcare professionals on staff.
So like if I'm a dermatologist or a physical therapist and I want to incorporate red light therapy into my practice.
Exactly. You might need additional licenses depending on your state and the specific services you're offering.
Okay, makes sense. What else?
Well, then you've got your health and safety permits. Again, pretty standard, but you want to make sure your facility meets all the requirements. Then there's zoning and land use permits.
Ah, so we can't just set up shop in a residential neighborhood?
Probably not the best idea. And finally, Depending on your specific niche within red light therapy, you might need what they call specialty permits.
So, like, if we're doing something really specific, or if we're, say, incorporating red light therapy into an existing spa or wellness center.
Exactly.
So basically, it's always best to do your homework and consult with a professional to make sure we're dotting all our I's and crossing all our
Yeah.
T's, right?
Absolutely. And the guide actually emphasizes that a few times. It's better to be safe than sorry. You don't want to run into any legal trouble down the line.
100%. It's better to lay a strong foundation from the beginning.
Exactly. Then you can really focus on building something amazing.
Okay, so we've got our legal ducks in a row. Now let's talk location, location, location.
Right. Where you set up shop is crucial. And it really comes down to understanding your target audience.
Yeah.
Who are you trying to reach? Where do they hang out? What kind of environment appeals to them?
It's about putting yourself in your ideal client's shoes.
Right. Exactly. If you're targeting athletes, for example, setting up shop near a gym or a sports medicine clinic might make sense.
But if, let's say, we're going for a more general wellness vibe, what then?
Then you're thinking like yoga studios, health food stores, maybe those fancy juice bars.
Exactly. Places where people are already thinking about their health and well-being.
Right. You want to be where your target market already is. Makes sense.
Right? Absolutely. And hey, visibility is key too, right? Being in a high traffic area where we can attract those walk-in clients.
Oh, for sure. Foot traffic is gold. But speaking of location, something I was curious about, what about competition?
Oh, that's a good question. Is it better to be the only red light therapy game in town or...
Or could a little friendly competition actually be a good thing?
Yeah, is it a bad sign if there are other red light therapy places nearby?
You know, the guide actually suggested that some competition can be a positive sign.
Really?
Yeah, it shows that there's already a demand for these services in the area.
Ah, that makes sense.
The key is to differentiate yourself. Find your niche, offer something unique.
Right, maybe specialize in a certain type of red light therapy or cater to a specific clientele.
Exactly. Give people a reason to choose you over the competition.
Love it. Okay, so we've tackled location, but we can't forget about the financial side of things. And I'll be honest, this is the part that makes me a little nervous.
I get it. Numbers can be intimidating. But the guide does a great job of breaking everything down in a way that's easy to understand, starting with business structures.
Okay, so let's talk about the different ways we can structure this business. What do we need to know?
Well, they talked about 4 main options: sole proprietorship, partnership, LLC, and corporation.
And each one has its own, like, pros and cons.
Exactly. Things like liability, taxes, how much paperwork is involved. It can get a little complex.
So it's probably a good idea to talk to a professional, right? Like an accountant or a lawyer.
Absolutely. They can help you figure out which structure makes the most sense for your specific situation.
Makes sense. Now, one thing the guide stressed was separating personal and business finances.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
But honestly, why is that so important?
Well, think of it this way. It's like mixing your morning smoothie, but you accidentally toss in a jalapeno pepper thinking it's a green apple. Not a good situation.
Okay, I can see where you're going with this. Not a good smoothie at all.
Same with your finances. Keeping things separate just makes everything cleaner and easier to manage.
So how do we actually do that?
They recommend getting an EIN,
An EIN.
Employer Identification Number. It's basically like a social security number for your business.
Ah, okay.
Ugh.
So that way our business has its own separate identity in the eyes of the IRS.
You got it. And it's super easy to apply for one online. Once you have your EIN, you can open a separate bank account for your business, and boom, you're good to go.
That's not as scary as I thought it would be. All right, so we've got our location, our finances are in order. What's next? Marketing, right. Got to get the word out.
You got it. And these days, your online presence is everything. The guide really emphasized the importance of a killer website.
Okay, so what makes a website killer in the world of red light therapy?
Well, first of all, it needs to look amazing. Think professional, modern, visually appealing, all that good stuff.
It's going to have that wow factor.
Exactly. But it also needs to be informative and easy to navigate. People should be able to find what they're looking for quickly and easily, whether it's information about your services, pricing, or how to book an appointment.
And testimonials. We need those glowing reviews from happy clients.
Yes, testimonials are huge. They build trust and credibility.
Okay, so we've got our website, but we can't forget about social media, right?
Absolutely not. Instagram, Facebook, Those are your best friends.
They're free marketing tools, essentially.
Exactly. And they're perfect for showcasing before and after photos, sharing client stories, behind-the-scenes peeks at your clinic, all that fun stuff.
And don't forget about local marketing efforts.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Partnering with local businesses, sponsoring community events, getting involved in health and wellness fairs, all great ways to get your name out there.
And word of mouth is still so powerful.
Totally. Happy clients are your best marketing asset.
So how do we create those raving fans who are out there, like, singing our praises from the rooftops?
It all comes down to exceptional customer service. Make every client feel like a VIP. Offer personalized treatment plans, follow up after appointments, send thank you notes.
Those little touches make all the difference. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about finding the perfect location, navigating the legal stuff, setting up our finances, and building a killer marketing strategy. But how do we go from startup to, like, red light therapy empire? How do we scale up effectively without losing that personal touch?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
It is. So spill the tea. What's the secret sauce to scaling a wellness business?
Well, the guy talked a lot about the importance of strategic growth and staying ahead of the curve. Like, you don't want to just ride the wave of popularity. You want to be proactive.
So what does that look like practically?
For one thing, financial management becomes even more crucial as you grow.
Uh-huh.
You need to have a solid handle on your cash flow, track your expenses diligently.
And probably explore different funding options if we're thinking about expanding.
Exactly. You don't want to miss out on opportunities because you haven't planned for growth.
Totally. We don't want to be, like, drowning in success because we weren't prepared for it, right?
Exactly. And then there's the whole legal side of things. As you grow, making sure you're staying compliant with all the regulations, that gets trickier.
Oh, definitely. More locations, more staff, more potential for something to slip through the cracks. So how do we stay ahead of the game on that front?
It's all about staying informed. The guide suggested subscribing to industry newsletters, checking for updates to regulations in your state, that kind of thing.
So make it a habit.
Yeah.
Don't just assume everything will stay the same.
Right. And documentation. Make sure you're keeping really good records of everything. Licenses, permits, training, all of it.
That's good advice for any business, really. But, okay, let's shift gears for a second. Legal stuff and finances aside, I think one of the biggest challenges of scaling any business, but especially a wellness business, is maintaining that personal touch.
Oh, 100%. You don't want to lose that human connection as you grow.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, people choose to support businesses that make them feel seen and valued, right?
Absolutely. So how do we hang on to that as we expand? How do we make sure that every single client feels like they're the only client, even if we're serving hundreds or even thousands of people?
Well, that's where building a rockstar team comes in, right?
It all starts with the team. You need people who are just as passionate about red light therapy and customer service as you are.
Passion is contagious. If your team is genuinely excited about what they're doing, that's going to rub off on your clients.
Right. And invest in training. Make sure your team has the knowledge and skills to provide top-notch service.
Empower them to be the best they can be. Okay, so we're building this amazing team, but it goes beyond that, right? It's about creating a culture of exceptional customer service.
100%. It has to be woven into the fabric of your business.
So it's not just like a one-time training or a bullet point in the employee handbook.
Nope, it's got to be ingrained in everything you do.
So how do we make that happen? What are some, like, tangible things we can do to cultivate that culture?
Think about things like, are you offering personalized treatment plans? Are you following up with clients after their appointments? Do you have a system for gathering feedback and addressing any concerns?
So really listen to your clients. Make them feel heard.
Exactly. And show them you care. Little things go a long way, like sending handwritten thank you notes or remembering their birthdays.
It's all about building relationships, not just transactions.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious, what's your biggest takeaway from all of this?
For me, it all comes back to that why. Why are we doing this in the first place? And for me, it's about being a part of something that's bigger than myself.
I love that. It's about making a real difference in people's lives, helping them feel better, look better, live better.
Exactly. And that's a really powerful motivator.
It is. And, we've covered so much in this deep dive, but it's just the tip of the iceberg, really. There's always more to learn, more to explore, and that's what makes this industry so exciting.
It's always evolving. New research, new technologies, it never gets boring.
So if you're feeling that entrepreneurial itch, if you're passionate about wellness, and you're ready to be a part of something truly transformative, then the world of red light therapy might just be your calling.
It's an incredible time to be in this space.
It is. And with the right guidance, the right resources, and a whole lot of heart, you can achieve amazing things. All right, everyone, that's a wrap for today's deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep shining bright.